Hello, I'm Hiltner. I've been working with Shewmon on SNGH is Not Guitar Hero. I did the frequency space audio filtering. I have here an FFT of the input from the guitar. I can pluck a string, and there are lots of peaks which are generated by the fundamental and its harmonics. The fundamental is labeled red, and its harmonics are labeled cyan. Then along the bottom of this we have we mark off the bins that notes can go into. So there's one. I can move up like so, and the peaks fall in the center of the bins. Some of the bins are labeled in magenta. Those correspond to the frequencies of the open strings, and we've been using that for tuning, like so. So I take the FFT, generate a list of the peaks, and from that figure out which ones are integer multiples of the others, to figure out what frequencies are the fundamentals, and I pass those along to Ruth.
I'm Ruth Shewmon. I worked with Reese on the Fahukwa Guys is Not Guitar Hero, and what we decided to do is take those peaks that he was detecting and turn it into a game. So my part of the project was to take those peaks, sort them into notes, sort those notes into chords, and detect what chord you're playing. And on the screen it'll request that you play a chord and give you a timer. And if you can play the correct chord within the right amount of time, the square of judgment turns green. If the game controller disapproves of the chord you've played, or you run out of time, the square of judgment turns red. So for example, if I were to play the completely wrong chord on the next, you can see that down in the yellow part, it's going to actually tell me what chord I played. So that was an E minor, and it detected it correctly.
So I can play an incorrect chord. Here's E minor. And I've been judged red, and it shows E minor down there. There I got G correct, so I've been judged green.
Here's a preview of the next version of our GUI, which we don't have compiled with a Fourier transform yet because it takes a very long time. You can see there's two additional features. The first one is that it tells you what your next chord is going to be, so that you can think about fingering ahead of time. And the other feature is that when you play a correct chord, you get something more interesting than a green square.